The sun is dropping behind the rooftops of Compton, turning the sky into a burning gradient of orange and red. The heat of the day still clings to the concrete, radiating upwards in slow waves. The city is alive, not in a romanticized way outsiders imagine, but in a real way. The hum of cars, the distant crack of a basketball hitting the pavement, the echoes of someone yelling down the block, the low thump of a bass from a passing car, the siren that cuts through the air like a blade. 16-year-old Kendrick Lamar stands on the rooftop looking out over it all. He's not tall. He's not imposing. He's not the loudest kid on the block. He's the opposite. Quiet, observant, almost invisible. But his mind is loud. His thoughts are sharp. His notebook is full. He holds it in his hand, a cheap spiral notebook, with bent corners and pages filled with verses that read like confessions, questions, prayers, and warnings. Words he doesn't yet realize will one day become scriptures to millions. He watches the neighborhood breathe. He watches the contradictions unfold. Joy and danger, laughter and grief, hope and hopelessness, all coexisting in the same square mile. He hears a couple arguing in the alley. He hears kids laughing on the sidewalk. He hears a police helicopter circling overhead. He hears his own heartbeat. He whispers a line under his breath, a line he's been working on all day, a line that feels like it came from somewhere deeper than him. He doesn't know it yet, but this moment, this rooftop, this sunset, this notebook is the birthplace of a voice that will one day shake the world. He doesn't know he'll win a Pulitzer. He doesn't know he'll redefine hip-hop. He doesn't know he'll become the reluctant prophet of a generation. All he knows is that he has something to say, and he's willing to bleed for it. Welcome to Ampyre Sessions, where discovery meets rebellion. This is the show that takes you on a journey through the world of music, the riffs, the legends, the hidden stories, and the lessons that fuel creativity. Here we break down the craft, the culture, and the chaos of sound, making it raw and unforgettable. Whether you're a musician, a fan, or just hungry for knowledge, Ampyre is your backstage pass to the rebellion of audio. So plug in, turn up. This is Ampyre Sessions. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Dustin, and today, in case you didn't hear the name in the intro, we are running through another artist spotlight today, okay? And today's artist spotlight dives into Kendrick Lamar, nonetheless. The poet, the prophet, the Pulitzer-winning architect of modern hip-hop. We're exploring the moments that shaped him, the sounds that defined him, and the myths he carved into the world of music. Without further ado, let's start where the flame began. Kendrick Lamar Duckworth was born in Compton, California, a place that has been mythologized, misunderstood, and misrepresented for decades. But for Kendrick, it wasn't a myth. It was home, a place where danger and beauty lived side by side, a place where survival wasn't guaranteed, but community was everything. His parents had moved from Chicago to escape gang violence, only to land in a city where the same forces shaped daily life. His father had ties to the gangster Disciples. His mother named him after Eddie Kendricks of the Temptations, a name rooted in soul, melody, and legacy. Kendrick grew up in Section 8 housing. He grew up around gunshots and church choirs. He grew up around drug deals and backyard barbecues. He grew up around trauma and tenderness. He wasn't the kid causing trouble. He wasn't the kid trying to be hard. He was the kid watching everything. He saw the way people moved. He saw the way people survived. He saw the way people broke. He saw the way people healed. He absorbed it all. At 8 years old, he witnessed Tupac and Dr. Dre filming the California Love video in Compton. That moment didn't just inspire him. It rewired him. He saw two men who came from the same soil he did, standing on top of the world. He realized music wasn't just entertainment. It was storytelling. It was power, and it was a way to turn pain into prophecy. By the time he was a teenager, he was writing constantly, filling notebooks with verses that were far too introspective, far too layered, far too emotionally intelligent for someone of his age. At 16, he released his first mixtape under the name K-Dot. It wasn't polished, it wasn't perfect, but it was undeniable. People started whispering, then talking, and then the best thing that could happen to an artist or creator, they started paying attention. He wasn't just another kid rapping about the streets. He was a kid rapping from inside the soul of the streets. He wasn't trying to be a star. He was just trying to survive. He was trying to understand. And most of all, he was trying to tell the truth. And that truth would become the foundation of everything he had built. Let's go through his breakthrough moment, okay? The door that they kicked down. Kendrick's breakthrough didn't happen overnight. It wasn't a viral moment. It wasn't a lucky break. It was a slow, steady burn. A steady climb built on discipline, hunger, and refused to compromise. The industry first felt the tremor with Section 80, an independent album released without a major label, without a radio play, or without any mainstream attention. But guys, it spread like wildfire through word of mouth, blogs, forums, and the underground scene. It was political. It was poetic. It was furious. It was vulnerable. It was everything hip-hop had been missing. But the real earthquake hit in 2012 with Good Kid from Mad City, a concept album that played like a film, a memoir, if you will, and a confession all at once. It wasn't just a debut, guys. It was a masterpiece. It told the story of a single day in Compton, a day filled with temptation, violence, peer pressure, faith, fear, and survival. It was cinematic. It was cohesive, and it was brutally honest, and it changed everything. Dr. Dre co-signed him. The West Coast crowned him. The industry bowed. The culture shifted. Kendrick Lamar didn't walk through the door. He kicked the door off its hinges and rebuilt the frame. Now let's dive into his craft, his sound, and his signature, okay? Kendrick Lamar's craft is a labyrinth. It's intricate. It's deliberate, and it's layered with meaning. You can listen to a Kendrick song once and enjoy it. You can listen to it 10 times and start to understand it. You can listen to it 100 times and still find new details hiding in the corners. His artistry is built on 3 pillars: lyricism, vocal shape-shifting, and sonic world building. With lyricism, it's the pen that cuts through bone. Kendrick writes with the precision of a surgeon and the vulnerability of someone who's lived through everything he describes. His verses aren't just rhymes. They're essays, confessions, sermons, and psychological case studies. He writes about survivors' guilt, systemic oppression, faith and doubt, addiction, trauma, ego, morality, and the weight of expectation, the contradictions of being human. He doesn't simplify it. He doesn't sanitize it, nor does he even spoon-feed it. He trusts that the listener can rise to the level of his work. His rhyme schemes twist and fold into themselves. His metaphors stack like architecture. His narrative loop backs in ways that reward deep listening. He's not just telling stories, guys. He's building worlds inside your head. Now we'll switch to the vocal shape-shifting side of it. The actor inside the rapper. Kendrick uses his voice like a palette of colors. He doesn't just rap as himself. He raps as characters, emotions, spirits, and psychological states. He'll switch from a frantic, high-pitched panic to calm, measured narrator, to a distorted demon voice, to a wary, broken whisper, to a booming, authoritative preacher, all in the same song. He embodies the people he writes about. He embodies the voices in his head. He embodies the contradictions of a world he grew up in. This isn't just rap, guys. It's performance art. And finally, we'll talk about a sonic world building. Albums as universes. Kendrick doesn't just make albums, he makes worlds. Each project has its own sonic identity, its own emotional palette, its own philosophical spine. Good Kid, Mad City, a coming-of-age film told through music. Beats that feel like car rides, house parties, danger, temptation, and prayer. To Pimp a Butterfly, a jazz funk rap odyssey, live instrumentation, political fury, black excellence, a sonic museum of African-American history. Damn. Minimalist, spiritual, psychological. An album that feels like a man arguing with himself in real time. Mr. Moral and the Big Steppers. Therapy sessions turned into music. They're raw, uncomfortable, honest to the point of pain. Kendrick's signature isn't a sound, guys. It's commitment. It tells the truth even when it hurts. Let's jump into the myth that they built. Kendrick Lamar didn't build a myth around fame. He built a myth around responsibility. He became the reluctant prophet of hip-hop, a man who never asked to be the voice of a generation but became one anyways. His myth is rooted in tension, the tension between faith and doubt, the tension between ego and humility, the tension between violence and peace, the tension between survival and morality. The tension between the individual and the community. The tension between the artist and the prophet. He carries the weight of Compton on his shoulders. He carries the weight of Black America in his verses. He carries the weight of expectation in every album. He's not a celebrity. He's a mirror. He reflects the world back at itself, unfiltered, unpolished, and uncomfortably honest. He doesn't chase trends. He doesn't chase hits. He doesn't chase attention. He chases the truth. And that truth becomes mythic because it's rare, because it's dangerous, because it's necessary. Kendrick Lamar is not a hero of his story. He's the witness, the chronicler, the survivor, the questioner, and the man standing in the middle of the storm, trying to make sense of this chaos. His myth is not about perfection. It's about the struggle to be human in a world that makes that extremely difficult. Now, let's talk about the thing people don't want to say out loud. Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest artists of his generation. Not just hip-hop, not just black music, not just in American music, but in music, period. And yet somehow people try to downplay him. They say he's too conscious, too political, too complicated. They say he's not fun enough, not mainstream enough, not commercial enough. And honestly, guys, that's fucking ridiculous. This man won a Pulitzer Prize for a rap album. He didn't win it because he made catchy songs. He won it because he made art that cut through the bullshit and forced people to confront reality. He writes circles around most rappers. He performs circles around most rappers. He conceptualizes circles around most rappers. And the people who still don't get it, honestly, they're not the ones listening. They're not the ones paying attention. Or they're scared of what he represents. Because Kendrick Lamar represents accountability. He represents truth. He represents the uncomfortable conversations people would rather avoid. Let's be honest, he's not here to make you dance. He's here to make you think. He's here to make you feel. And he's here to make you confront the parts of yourselves you'd rather just ignore. And that's why people resist him. Problem is because he doesn't let you hide. Take a break with me. Because after the bars, the accolades, the cultural weight, the myth, the pressure, the Pulitzer, and the expectations, there's something deeply human at the core of Kendrick Lamar's story. Something that resonates far beyond hip-hop, far beyond Compton, and far beyond America. Kendrick teaches us that truth is a burden and a blessing. Teaches us that you can come from a place that tries to literally break you and still become a vessel for something bigger. He teaches us that trauma doesn't define you, but it shapes you. He teaches us that survival is not just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, and psychological. He teaches us that you can be quiet and powerful all at the same time. That you can be introverted and still shake the world. That you can be conflicted and still be a leader. That you can be flawed and still be a prophet. Kendrick's story is not about perfection, guys. It's about the struggle to stay human in a world that constantly tries to dehumanize you. He shows us that growth is messy, that healing is nonlinear, that accountability is painful, that introspection is necessary. He teaches us that art is not just expression, it's excavation. Digging into the parts of yourself you'd rather just avoid. Digging into the parts of your community that hurt. Digging into the systems that shape your life. He teaches us that vulnerability is not weakness, it's courage. The courage to say, I don't have all the answers. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still learning, and I'm still healing. Kendrick Lamar is not a superhero, guys. He's a man trying to make sense of a world, and that's what makes him powerful. Because when he tells the truth, he gives us permission to tell ours. There's one song that captures the essence of Kendrick Lamar, the poet, the prophet, the survivor, the mirror. It's his song, All Right. Not because it's catchy, not because it became a protest anthem, not because it won awards, but because it's a purest distillation of Kendrick's entire philosophy, hope in the face of hell. So let's break it down. Start with the sound. All Right is built on a feral crafted beat that feels like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. It's bright, it's bouncy, and it's deceptively joyful. But underneath the bounce is tension, a bass line that feels like a heartbeat under stress, drums that feel like footsteps running from something you can't see. It's a song that smiles through pain. The message is we gonna be all right. It's not a promise, it's not a guarantee. It's a mantra, a survival spell. A declaration made in defiance of everything trying to crush you. Kendrick isn't saying everything is all right. He's saying we're still here, we're still breathing, we're still fighting, and that means something, guys. The context of the song, when All Right dropped, America was in the middle of a reckoning. Police brutality, protests, racial tension, generational trauma boiling over. The song became a rallying cry, a chant, a lifeline. People weren't singing it because they were happy. They were singing it because they needed hope. The performance. Kendrick's BET Awards performance of All Right, standing on a vandalized police car, rapping with fire in his chest, is one of the most important live moments of the decade. It wasn't entertainment. It was testimony. The impact. All Right became bigger than Kendrick, bigger than hip-hop, bigger than music. It became a cultural artifact, a symbol of resilience, and a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there's still a spark. If you want to understand Kendrick Lamar, start with his song All Right. It's his heartbeat, his thesis, and his prayer. Now, guys, let's look at their impact on the world. Kendrick Lamar's impact is seismic, not just in hip-hop, not just in black culture, not just in America, but guys, it's globally. He didn't just make great albums. He shaped the expectations of what a rapper can be. He redefined lyricism. Before Kendrick, mainstream rap was drifting towards simplicity. After Kendrick's, complexity became cool again. He made depth desirable. He made storytelling essential, and he made introspection powerful. I will kind of stir off course for a little bit on this part because you've heard me in multiple past episodes talk about how I have not really cared for the hip-hop genre, so to speak, that much. It was really before Kendrick, especially the part that I just made here, that rap was turning towards just simplicity. And that's when you start getting your mumble rappers out there. That is what I meant by I did not care for hip-hop. If you can bring strength, if you can bring truth, if you can bring storytelling, some type of mannerism to the music, man, I'm all for it. I am all for it. But that was before Kendrick showed up and made a huge impact on the scene. Because before Kendrick, I'm sorry, you started to really delve into a not so good place in hip hop where it's like, the hell are you even saying? So I love the fact that Kendrick came along and actually sustained some depth, and people tried to push their games to the next level, so to speak. So I appreciate it, and I enjoy everything that he has brought to it. So just to clarify my past points that I have made against hip-hop. But yeah, he brought jazz back into the mainstream, guys. To Pimp a Butterfly didn't use jazz. It resurrected it. It brought Kamasi Washington, Thundercat, Terrence Martin, and a whole wave of jazz fusion artists into the spotlight. He bridged generations together. He bridged genres, and he bridged cultures. He became a voice for the marginalized, not because he wanted to be, because he needed to be. He spoke about police brutality, systematic racism, generational trauma, survivor's guilt, mental health, spirituality, identity, accountability. He didn't sugarcoat. He didn't sanitize. He didn't perform pain for applause. He told the truth. Guys, he won a Pulitzer Prize. It's amazing in its own right. This cannot be overestimated. Kendrick Lamar became the first non-classical, non-jazz artist to win a Pulitzer Prize for music. That's not just a win for him, guys. That's a win for hip-hop. That's a win for black art. And that's a win for storytelling. But most importantly, it's a win for truth. He changed what a rap album could be. He made concept albums mainstream again. He made narrative albums relevant again. He made ambitious albums profitable again. He proved that you can be experimental and still be successful, that you can be political and still be popular, that you can be honest and still be iconic. Now, guys, we're winding down on this episode, so I'm going to ask y'all to do me a favor. If you want to carry this Ampyre energy with you, please check out their latest merch drop. I got shirts, hoodies, water bottles, anything you could think your heart would desire. I probably got it on my shop. I just released featured items for the month of February. It's Valentine's Day. Made a specific Ampyre Sessions logo, specifically made for Valentine's Day. So if you guys want to get something for the person you love or something of that nature, and possibly show them a great podcast that's up and coming here, I'd appreciate it. Go to ampyresessions.com/shop and you will find all my items there on that shop page. I appreciate anything. It helps create and continue this show. So yeah, if you want to represent the rebellion, the merch drop is where you start. Okay. If you guys want to take a look at the Backstage Pass, www.ampyresessions.com. From there, click the Backstage Pass. See if that's something that interests you. It is a subscription. You will get full-length video episodes of me recording live in the person. Exclusive merchandise codes or release promo codes every single month that give you certain percentage or even free shipping off your orders. So definitely that's a good way to save some money there. And yeah, go ahead and check that out if that's something that interests you. But either way, I appreciate everything that you guys have been doing. But yeah, you've been listening to Ampyre Sessions, where discovery meets rebellion. The journey doesn't stop here. Keep exploring, keep creating, and keep the fire alive. Until next time, guys, stay loud, stay bold, and never fade into the noise. This was Ampyre Sessions.